In the 2 years that I've been riding, I've somehow managed to buy quite a lot of gear, but I'm not 100% happy with everything that I've ended up with, and if I could go back in time and start all over again, I would do things quite differently. So I thought I'd show you everything I've bought, things that I regret, and some lessons that I've learned from it. So I'll start off with the first set of gear that I ever bought, and this is the set that I don't wear anymore and I regret it the most. I knew from when I first started riding that I wanted to be fully geared up and protected, so the first thing I did, I went down to my local J&S because it was the nearest bike shop at the time, and I bought myself a set of textiles. I didn't really know anything about bike gear, I didn't want to spend loads of money because I wasn't sure if I'd even like it or not, and I ended up with this Frank Thomas set. I spent £150 on the jacket and about £100 on the trousers, and at the time that's what I wanted to spend on a set of gear, so it was within budget and I was really happy with them when I first bought them. It didn't come with a back protector, but it had a pocket for a back protector, and at that price range most of the jackets I was looking at had the same kind of story. But once I started riding more, I realised that even for £250, this set of textiles was really overpriced. It wasn't waterproof, the armour was really uncomfortable, and most importantly, it had a label on the inside telling me that this wasn't supposed to be used as a motorbike jacket, and I didn't really understand what that meant. So I started looking into it, and I realised that in 2018, some new rules and standards came into place, and this hadn't been tested to those new standards. One thing I would definitely do different today, and I actually plan on doing this going forward, is if your budget is this low for your first set of gear, buy something secondhand, look on eBay or look on Vinted or something, and get something from a reputable brand, but just something that's a little bit old and that's already been worn, because I probably could have paid £50 for this set of textiles if I got them secondhand, rather than £250. And even though I bought Frank Thomas trousers to match, I didn't realise that these actually weren't from the same set, so the zip wasn't compatible. The trousers for £100 were actually a much worse deal than the jacket. These were somehow even less waterproof. They came with level 1 knee armour and what I thought was level 1 hip armour. But I actually only realised a few months ago that this was all along just a piece of foam and it wasn't armour at all. If you find something like this in some of your bike gear, which you shouldn't do anymore, just throw it away. This isn't armour, it's just meant to hold the shape of your jacket or your trousers. Protection wise, I never crashed in them and I really don't trust them just looking at them and feeling them. I did drop my bike a whole bunch of times when I was first learning, just from stationary or from walking speed, and I never got cuts or scrapes, the trousers never ripped or anything, so they were fine in that regard, but I wouldn't want to crash in these. Some things I liked about it was that it had a whole bunch of pockets on the inside, which is useful for storing your phone and your wallet and things. It had a removable thermal liner, which is actually a full sleeve liner, so that was pretty cool. It was actually nice and warm. But I just hated how it looked. It wasn't flattering, it wasn't cool. I saw my friends riding, they looked much better than me, and I was stuck wearing these. So I decided that I wanted to buy my first set of leathers because I wanted to look cool, I wanted to look like all the other bikers I know, and then I ruined it by chucking this high vis on, so I'll take that off. This is RST's GTCE set of leathers, and this is the lady specific version. Again, I paid £150-ish for the jacket and about £120-ish for the trousers. So for the same price, pretty much, as that set of textiles, I got a much better deal, and I have hardly any regrets about buying these. The jacket and trousers both come with a full set of level 2 armour and a AAA rating, which is the highest you can get, it's perfect. The jacket and trousers have a full 360 zip to zip together, and I pretty much do that all the time. It just makes them a lot more comfortable to wear, and if you want to do track days, that will get you into most of them. Overall, the jacket, it looks great, it's comfortable, it's protective, I feel really good wearing it. It pretty much solved all the problems I had with the textile kit, other than I couldn't wear it if it was raining, too hot, or too cold. And that's the thing about leathers, everyone will tell you they're the most protective kit you can buy, and they are in a crash, but they don't protect you at all pretty much from the elements. If it's too hot, too cold, if it's wet, they're not going to be comfortable to wear. I definitely don't regret buying these, they're actually my favourite piece of kit, I just regret that I can't wear them more often. You definitely don't need to have a set of leathers, especially in the UK, majority of the time the weather doesn't work for it. But I don't regret buying these, I actually love them. I just regret one thing about the trousers, and this is true for pretty much every pair of trousers I own, which is something you'll see later. It's that they're too long. I only have a 28-inch leg, I'm only 5 foot, so if I don't get trousers in a short leg length, they just don't fit properly. And that's for motorbike gear, for just normal jeans, casual wear, I need to get trousers in a short leg, otherwise they just don't look right. And for motorbike gear, it's more important than just something not looking very nice. If the knee armour doesn't sit on your knees, it's not going to protect your knees, and unfortunately for these, they're a bit too long. On the bike I get away with them, I still wear them, but I have contacted a leather shop. I'm hoping to get these adjusted a little bit and hopefully they'll fit me even nicer. So now that I had one set of leather gear and one set of textile gear, I pretty much owned everything I needed, and I could be really patient and wait for deals and find really good stuff when I wanted to upgrade things. So first I wanted to upgrade my textile kit because, as I said, I didn't really like it. This is the Motorgirl Cathy set of textiles, and I got a really good deal on this because it's actually been discontinued. This piece of kit, again, didn't come with a CE rating because it predates the new safety certifications, but just from the construction of it and from crashing in it once, unfortunately, I really trust it to hold up, so I have no doubts that this is a really good and well-constructed jacket. But of course, without being able to point to the CE rating, you don't really know how good of a jacket it is. This reflective vest is just something that I bought off of Amazon and I just chuck it on top. Underneath, it just looks a little bit like this. This also came with a full set of level 2 armour, which is great. It's really comfortable armour, it's a really comfortable jacket, it looks good, it's protective, and it's waterproof. I paid £100 for the jacket and £40 for the trousers. And once you have a set of gear that you can use, you can really keep an eye out for some good deals. If you're just getting into riding and you have no gear, you kind of just have to buy whatever's available. But if you can be patient and wait, you can get some good stuff for fairly cheap. The regrets I have about these are, again, textiles just tend not to be super flattering, and I think eventually it's best to stop buying some of this cheap stuff and just go for something that really makes you look good and feel good. Because if you feel horrible every time you wear something, you're either not going to wear it or it's just going to take away from your experience a little bit. So for my next set, rather than buying something cheap again, I might get something that's just a bit more premium, just looks a little bit nicer. Again, this came with matching trousers, and these are also in a regular leg length. I really have to stop doing that because the knee pads didn't sit in the right place at all, and I'll show you how I solved that later on in the video. The last two jackets I have, I really didn't have to buy them, I just bought them because I wanted them and I found them at kind of a good deal. First is my Revit Eclipse jacket. This is my summer mesh jacket, and you don't really need a mesh jacket. I paid about $130 for this, and then I think I paid £40 for the back protector, so it's a fair investment. But riding in hot weather with a mesh jacket on just feels amazing. Sometimes it's just too hot to wear leather or even textile, and you just need something like this. It only really gets used for a few weeks of the year, but for the few weeks of the year that I can use it, I love wearing it, I don't regret buying it, but it's definitely one of those things that you don't really need, it's just really nice to have. This only comes with a level A certification, so it's meant for more around town urban riding up to maybe like 30 miles an hour or something. I do wear this on longer rides if I have to, if it's really hot. If I'm going out for a twisty ride and it's 30 degrees, I'm going to be wearing this, but if I crash, it's probably not going to last. So finally I've got another leather jacket. This is a Triumph one. Triumph used to have an outlet website where you could buy stuff for really, really cheap, but I think they've got rid of that now. I think it's just a mailing list that you sign up to and they send you deals directly. But this I found on the outlet website. It was £80, and I thought that's really good, but I already have a leather jacket, I really don't need it. Then they sent out another 50% discount code, so I got this for £40, and it literally looks like a £200 to £300 jacket, because it probably was at some point. But as nice as it is, this is definitely form over function. It's really uncomfortable on the bike. It came with a full set of level 1 D3O armour, so it's pretty good, pretty protective. It's only got a level A rating though. I just found that the neck really cut into me while I was riding. I found it really uncomfortable. When I would sit down, the jacket would kind of push up and it just didn't fit properly. So I've taken the armour out and I just wear this as a fashion jacket now. Sometimes I'll buy things just because they're a good deal or I think they're worth it, but then I end up with loads of stuff that I never wear and it just takes up space and it's kind of annoying. So I don't necessarily regret it, but yeah, maybe I wouldn't buy it again. It definitely taught me not to fall for every single deal that I see, because not all of them really end up being that great. There's a few other pairs of trousers. These are what I wear usually with my mesh jacket. First are the Motorgirl Ellie jeans. They've actually just brought out a new model of these, so these are the old ones. These were also discontinued. I also paid £40 for them, and I think they'll do a really good job at holding up if I have an accident. I trust them, but again, they don't have a CE rating just because they're quite old stock. If I were to buy stuff again today, I would stop buying stuff that doesn't have the CE ratings, because without it being tested, you can't really be sure how well it's going to hold up, even if you trust the brand, which I really do. These are also a regular leg length, so they're a bit too long for me. These are the Motorgirl Sherry leggings. I've actually shown these in another video. These have a AAA rating. They cost me about $150, and the only thing I regret about these is that they have the opposite problem of all my other trousers, in that they're too short. I actually first bought these one size smaller, but they were too tight around the waist. The length was fine though, so I exchanged them for one size bigger in a short. And now the waist is fine, but they're too short. And I regret not sending them back at the time, because Motorgirl don't do free returns if you order from them directly. If you order through like Urban Rider or Infinity or somewhere that stocks Motorgirl gear, you might be able to get the free returns, but if you order straight from their website, you can't. And I didn't want to pay another £5 to have to send them back, so I just kept them. But I kind of regret that, because if you're wearing long boots, it doesn't really matter. But if you want to wear short boots, they're just too short. Next time I buy Motorgirl stuff, I'm going to try it on first, or I'm going to order from somewhere where I can send it back a bit more easily. And finally, these are the Knox Action Pro trousers. These are really unnecessary, but I bought these because I started taking snowboarding lessons. And if you've ever tried to learn a snow sport, you'll know that you fall over a lot, and it hurts quite a bit. So after my first snowboarding lesson, I decided that I wanted to get some knee protection at least. And rather than buying those sort of like plastic skateboarding knee pads, I came across these and I thought great because I can wear them on the motorbike and I can wear them when I'm snowboarding. So these were about $130, I think I paid $140. These are the men's version because I couldn't find the ladies version. And the waist is just a little bit too big. So again, I should have been more stubborn and just looked for the ladies version because these don't fit perfectly. But they do a good job. I've crashed in them maybe like 20 times on the snowboard. I've had no issues. One time actually the knee pad kind of slipped out of position and I had half my knee had a huge bruise where it hit the snow and the other half was completely fine. So the pads definitely work when they stay in place. And this is how I fixed the issue with my textile trousers. I took the pads out of them, I wear these underneath, I wear the textile trousers on top. Even with all the gear that I own, I end up spending the majority of time in my textiles and if it's dry, in my leathers. Everything that I bought taught me something about what I like and what I don't like. And I learned that, for example, with the fit of stuff, I should be really picky and not just put up with something that doesn't fit right. Because it's not going to perform its function as a piece of safety kit. It's not going to make you feel good, it's not going to make you look good, and eventually you're just going to end up buying something different. So sometimes it makes sense to spend a bit more money, get something that you really want. I would also really consider buying secondhand because there's people like me who buy loads of stuff and then after 6 months they upgrade it and they want to sell their old stuff. Or especially for women, there's a lot of women who buy stuff because they're going to ride on the back of somebody else's bike and then they do it once and they never do it again. So you can get some good stuff that's pretty much brand new and you can pay almost nothing for it. I think your ideal wardrobe is pretty much a set of textiles, a good set of leathers, and then maybe a mesh jacket for the summer. I plan on getting rid of my Frank Thomas set, passing them on to a new rider or something, and I'll be left with pretty much just those three, and the jacket that I wear just as a casual jacket. But hopefully my mistakes are useful to you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And in the meantime, safe riding and I'll see you in the next one.